Hello to my Aries and my Aries risings. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Taurus, but also more importantly, the solar eclipse that's happening in Taurus. This is big change and probably something that you're looking forward to, I'd imagine, beautiful Aries, but this is going to be a big shake-up. Now, when we think about what happens at eclipse time, it's a time to maybe set down some of our control over the situation and to really just allow what manifests and transmogrifies in our environment. A great way to look at an eclipse in terms of rerouting the karmic path. So in terms of having these changes that can be quite destabilizing and quite profound for us. But if you think about it in terms of, okay, well, this is out of my control, this is something that I'm going to have to work with in order to stabilize again. And ultimately, it's for the benefit of my path from here on out. So things that have had to fall away have had to fall away. There's no other way of putting it. The solar eclipse is the catalyst of these changes. So we'll focus on that for this reading, and then we can go into the lunar eclipse in the next couple of weeks. But all of this change is happening in your second house. So Taurus rules your second house of your talents, of your personal resources, and how you earn, your ability to take care of yourself, your ability to attract and collect material abundance. Now, there's going to be a big change in this part of your life, and it's something that potentially you may have felt the rumblings of in the last little bit of time. You definitely will be feeling the shift and the consequences over the next months. So I want to talk you through that and try and find some stabilization in how difficult some of this may feel. The eclipses are taking place at 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, if we look at the tarot, the card that correlates to that exact point in the sky is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles talks about material trouble. It talks about stress and strife. It talks about that feeling of being shut out, of being left out in the cold, of having no resources, of being completely broke and completely destitute and also ignored. All of these horrible feelings when it comes to lack. And I can really empathize with you on this one, Aries, because I do know what it feels like to be so terrified and paralyzed by that feeling of lack and feeling of not having enough and not knowing where to turn and not having perhaps many options to turn to. I'm bringing this up because this is an energy that is, just as soon as it happens in the tarot, the very next card is the Six of Pentacles, which is the Lord of material success, which is about that place where you've got money to burn, you've got it in your pockets and you can pass it forward and pay it forward, and you're the one buying the drinks and you're moving it back and forth and you've got everything that you need, and that's not very much, and so therefore you may as well share it with others. So I bring this up because that really highlights, the tarot's got a beautiful way of highlighting the push and pull of life and the swings and roundabouts and how things can change on a hairpin turn. Eclipses highlight that energy too. So in this moment of change that's happening in your second house, if you do find yourself falling into worry of thinking, oh, I really fucked it up, I've got nothing, I can't take care of myself, I don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm going to turn. Allow yourself to feel that, and I really want to hold your hand through that. But remember that on the other side of that coin is the Six of Pentacles. If we flip that pentacle up in the air, it could land on the six as well. This could actually be really beneficial for you. This change in your perception of your talents and self-worth could lead you to a space where you aren't beholden to others, where you do find a greater sense of autonomy and a greater sense of stability in your earning power. Now, you're a hard worker, Aries. You always have been. You do, when it comes to it, when the grindstone's there, your nose is right on it. Like, you're incredibly adept at change, I will say as well, which there's something very comforting about your level of confidence. You can really rely on the fire in your belly to see you through change and to see you through destabilization. Look at this eclipse as the catalyst of a brand new cycle. That would be a really great way to look at it. I've got the Wheel of Fortune card right here, which is the perfect example of what we can talk about in terms of this being an opportunity, this change, this shift in your earning capacity to be the beginning of a brand new cycle, and perhaps potentially the cycle that you need from here on in. This definitely could be the start of something really beautiful and really bountiful for you. When we consider change or the end of something, the end of a cycle, we've got to remember that that wheel goes round and it picks up again. It might look different, it might be in a different way, it might take on a different form, a different guise, but definitely know that time is cyclical. That's the beautiful way to think about the shape of a snail shell. Think about the beautiful way that nature always works in a circle, very rarely in a straight line. Whatever's falling away right now, you've completed that cycle and it's now time to move on to the next one. Now, there's a place that I want you to investigate with all the fire and diligence of your Aries soul. And I've been secretly smattering your horoscopes with these messages because your 12th house has been so activated with the most jubilant, beautiful energy for all of this year. Now, your 12th house is ruled by Pisces, and in Pisces we have Neptune, we have Jupiter, we have Venus. It's really crowded in there at the moment. There's a whole bunch of planets that are calling Pisces home for this present moment. Now, the 12th house is a direct tie to your unconscious mind, to your dreamscape. So when it comes to the vividness of what it is that you're dreaming about when you're asleep, really, I want you to, if you're not already, keep the journal next to your bed and write down everything you see and just pop it away. And you can decipher what that means when you need to. But there is some direct messaging that call it spirit, call it Mother Earth, whatever it is that you believe in, from the outer realm, behind that veil's becoming very, very thin right now. Right now, Jupiter is holding hands with Venus. And we know that Venus symbolizes beauty and art and love. She's the goddess on the mountaintop in that rock and roll song. We all have an idea of what Venus can provide us with. We've all got our own personal Venus in a lot of ways. So right now, Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, the planet of optimism and expansion and buoyancy and good fortune, is holding hands with Venus at the moment. So in dreams, and if your dreams have been kind of either romance-centric or love-centric, or if they've been beautifully artful in their construction, if you've got control over your dreams and you feel that you can manipulate and move around in that liminal space, then do it. Do it now. And this will possibly provide you with some answers as to how to best achieve stability again after the upheaval of your second house by this eclipse. And I know that I'm talking to Aries, so I don't have to tell you twice, but Dreamland is so important, and there's so many messages in there that can be transmogrified and transmuted into our 3D living experience. So do let me know what happens. Do let me know who's coming to you in dreams and what things are cropping up in that space, and how you can translate these messages to help aid in supporting you through this big change in your second house and your sense of self and your sense of talent and self-worth. You're a very hard worker, Aries. You're incredibly gifted, and I do know the disappointment of sometimes those attributes being overlooked or not working out in the society and the systems that we live under at the moment. The many varied talents of humankind, there are some that seem to be more important than others. Know that that's not true, that your gifts and your talents and your expertise and the way that you spend your days and your time is just as valid as everybody else's, and beautiful and vibrant and passionate and inspiring. You must remember that you inspire all of us, Aries, with the way that you go about living in this world. I think I'll leave it there if that's all right. I think that's enough to prime you for the eclipse. Hold tight. It's going to be okay. And remember, it's just a catalyst for more change. So this is going to be a roller coaster. Will be on for a while. So relax into that space. Trust dreams. And yeah, head over to umaruby.com. All of my offerings and stuff are all over there. I'm not going to do a pick a card this fortnight. I'm just going to leave it at these recordings. The eclipse is happening in my third house of communication, which is where I sometimes have a bit of trouble. So I'm trying to regenerate how I'm transferring some of this information. We'll see how it goes. It's like trying on a new hat. We'll see if I like this one. But I'll definitely be back with you in 2 weeks' time so we can discuss the full lunar eclipse in Scorpio and what that might mean for you in your experience. Much love to you, Aries. You've got this. You're a powerhouse. I'm very proud of you and I love you extremely. And I'll speak to you soon. Ta-da.